October 31st, the night of Halloween. Without a doubt, it was one of your favorite events of the year, from all the spooky decorations in your neighborhood, the specials on TV, to the children going around trick-or-treating. It was a delight knowing Halloween was just around the corner. As tradition, you had been invited to this party relatively close to your house. You loved the idea of these Halloween parties. Some people were really serious about their costumes, while others, not so much. You were originally part of the first group. You liked showing off to others, but lately, you had been slacking off. In fact, some people jokingly called you out at last year's party, saying how you got lazy reusing past year costumes or simply were not putting in the same amount of effort. You were aware that they did not have any malicious intentions when saying those things, but you wanted to prove them wrong. Lucky for you, you had a friend who just so happened to run a niche costume shop close to where you lived. He was in his mid-50s, and you had known him since you were 13, when you first entered his shop 20 years ago. You occasionally bumped into him around town. The only problem was that you had not really visited his shop in a few years. But he was a great person, and you knew he would be delighted to help you find the best Halloween costume possible. But you had to act fast, because you were seriously running out of time. On the day of Halloween, you went to his shop just as the sun had set. The party did not start until late, and this was the only time you were available, so you thought you would be all right. When you entered, you saw him picking up his things, ready to call it a day. But when he saw you, his face turned to a pleasant smile.
"Oh, my friend, what a surprise to see you here. It's been so long since the last time I saw you here. What brings you to my costume shop, friend?"
You shook his hand for a firm handshake and shared a gentle hug. You both sat down, and you explained your situation. He listened intently and was more than happy to help you.
"Of course, friend. You can always count on me when it comes to costumes. You know I specialize in them. To think you were just a teenager when you first entered my shop, and you're now all grown up. You even have a beard, truly a complete man. Well, come on, follow me, let's see what I can get you."
You stood up and happily started following him. The fact that he was so willing to help you at the last second just went to show how good of a friend he was. As you roamed around the shop together, you noticed the costumes were very different from the ones you last saw a couple of years ago. He explained that, in order to compete with other shops, he had to top things up a notch, specializing in high-quality full-body costumes. Recently, he had been making an emphasis on character costumes, which sold incredibly well. People were so in love with their costumes that they did not even want to take them off after the occasion. You were impressed by the amount of costumes of beloved characters present in the shop: Bowser, Godzilla, Foxy, Baloo. They all looked seriously awesome. And the owner knew who every character was, no matter how obscure. You were not surprised, he was always dedicated to his craft. He led you to the back room of the shop, intrigued as to what he was up to. He began scattering around some boxes, as if he were looking for something in particular.
"Based on your current look, I think I know a costume you can rock pretty well. It must be somewhere around here. Gonna give you that feral touch you're looking for. I got a feeling you're gonna love it. Come take a look."
After some digging, he brought a giant box to a table. It was so big that you were surprised he could lift it. He opened it, and you could not believe what was inside: a full-on, fursuit divided into a headpiece and bodysuit. The headpiece was large and wolf-like, with a wide, open mouth that revealed sharp, white teeth and red gums, giving it a fierce, aggressive expression. The eyes were hidden behind angular, dark sunglasses, which added a cool and mysterious vibe to the character. The fur on the head was primarily white, with pink markings near the eyes and along the sides of the face, creating a stylized and unique look. The ears were tall, upright, and pointed, with light pink interiors, positioned prominently on top of the head. A thick, furry neck connected the headpiece to the bodysuit, creating a seamless transition between the two parts. The upper body of the bodysuit featured a black, sleeveless vest with a high collar, made of a shiny, leather-like material that included metallic-looking details. A bold, angular, star-shaped emblem in gold was displayed on the left side of the chest. The arms were thick and muscular, covered in gray fur, giving them a powerful appearance. Each forearm had layered bracers in dark purple with silver bands, adding an armored, heavy-duty look. The hands were large, with wolf-like, white claws that were sharp and pointed, reinforcing the costume's intimidating style. For the lower body, the character wore dark blue pants with patches on the knees, contributing to a rugged, streetwear look. Extending from the back was a thick, gray, furry tail that ended in a bushy tip, completing the wolf-like appearance of the bodysuit. You looked at the shop owner, confused. Was this the costume he had planned for you? A wolf suit? You could not deny it looked extremely high quality. And the character admittedly did look pretty badass. You swore you had seen this character somewhere before. But was this what you wanted to wear for the party? Seeing your expression.
Well, look at this beauty, am I right? This costume is based on the character of Freddy from Dislyte. He has this very distinct rebellious and rough personality, and honestly, I think it fits your new rugged look. I love every costume I have in my shop, I really do. But this one right here is something special. And something tells me you secretly like what you're seeing. So why not embrace it? Wear it with pride, friend. You'll be the spotlight of whichever party you're planning to go. And hey, there's no need to pay me right now. I can wait. As long as you're happy with the costume, that will be good enough for me.
He chuckled. You could not believe he was basically giving you this costume for free. You still had some doubts, but after what he had said, and with that final statement, how could you say no? You smiled and nodded, genuinely excited to wear the Freddy costume. You had never been in a costume this well made before, so you were curious. The shop owner clapped, delighted with your decision to wear it. He offered to help you get it on, and you agreed. After all, you did not have enough time to go back home to put it on. You followed him to a changing locker in the back room. He turned the costume around, unveiling a hidden zipper on its back. The way he knew every detail of this costume was impressive, considering he had countless others in his shop. He slid down the zipper, revealing the cushy gray padding inside. It looked so surprisingly comfy, almost as if it were begging someone to jump in and don it. He gestured for you to come closer, explaining how the costume was ready for you. You took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves as you stepped up to the costume. He held the suit open, its inner padding giving off an inviting, plush look that seemed ready to swallow you up. With the zipper fully opened, the costume seemed like an empty shell, waiting for you to bring it to life. Starting with your legs, you carefully slid each one into the gray, cushioned blue pants of the suit. The inner padding felt surprisingly soft, hugging your legs with just the right amount of snugness. The shop owner quickly adjusted them. You felt the fabric and padding mold comfortably around your knees, giving you a strange sense of security and power. With each step, you could feel how the costume amplified your movements, hinting at the strength Freddy was known for. Next came the torso. He helped you pull up the suit's body and slipped your arms into the thick, muscular furry sleeves. Each arm felt perfectly padded, with enough resistance to make every movement feel purposeful. You flexed your hands, now covered by gloves shaped like fierce, clawed wolf paws. The dark purple bracers added an intimidating touch, wrapping around your forearms with silver bands, giving an extra edge, like armor crafted for a rebellious warrior. Inside, you felt the same comforting padding around each finger, allowing for natural movement. The vest on the bodysuit settled snugly over your chest, and he adjusted the collar and straightened the gold, star-shaped emblem. You glanced down at the costume, seeing yourself transformed. It felt good. It felt really good. You could not help but touch the costume, the fur, the vest, admiring the craftsmanship. Finally, he held up the headpiece, his eyes glinting with pride.
This is the last touch. Ready to meet Freddy.
You nodded, feeling a rush of anticipation. He guided the headpiece over your head, aligning it so that your vision lined up perfectly with the eye holes hidden behind the sunglasses. The headpiece was surprisingly light, and as it settled onto your head, you could feel the thick, soft fur against your neck, seamlessly connecting with the bodysuit. The padded neck area created a smooth transition, making it feel as if the head and body were one complete entity. The suiting was complete. You were finally ready for the Halloween party. As you looked in the mirror, you were taken aback. The reflection staring back at you was no longer just you in a costume, it was Freddy. The wide, snarling mouth with sharp, white teeth, the angular sunglasses that hid your eyes, the fierce pink markings along the sides of the wolf-like face, all of it created an imposing figure that made you feel overwhelmed by how confident and comfortable you were. You instinctively tugged Freddy's vest, as a first attempt to get into character.
There he is. The one and only Freddy. So, how does it feel? I'm sure you must be feeling awesome now.
You waved your thanks, excitement propelling you toward the Halloween party.
There you go. Knew this costume was meant for you. Go on, friend, enjoy your night.
The suit's fabric clung to you as you walked, each step reinforcing the strange yet comforting feeling of being enveloped by something more than just fabric. It felt alive, snug, intoxicating in the way it seemed to hold you close, like a second skin meant just for you. The night air brushed against your fur, you realized with a thrill, and it felt unexpectedly natural, almost as if it belonged there. As soon as you arrived at the party, heads turned. Friends and strangers alike stared, their eyes wide with awe and admiration. One friend grinned, leaning over to another, whispering about the insane detail of the costume. You caught snippets of their words: professional, incredible. You nodded in character, feeling a swell of pride and satisfaction. The reactions were exactly what you had hoped for, maybe even better. People were drawn to you, flocking around, admiring every detail. You raised a clawed hand in a playful growl, feeling the suit's influence surge through you. After a while, the need for food broke through the moment, and you decided it was time to grab a snack. Reaching up, you gripped the headpiece, preparing to pull it off, but it did not budge. Surprised, you tried again, this time with more force, but the headpiece felt strangely attached, almost fused. Frowning, you ducked into a nearby bathroom, away from prying eyes, determined to figure this out. Taking a deep breath, you gripped the headpiece and pulled hard. But nothing happened. It felt as if the costume had molded itself to your skin. Panic started to bubble up, and you pulled even harder, only to realize that the padding inside the suit was pressing back against you, molding to your shape. Then, a new sensation began to spread, a strange, warm pulse radiating from the padding. It was no longer just fabric or foam, it felt alive, throbbing gently, contracting and expanding around you. The padding pressed deeper, almost sinking into your flesh, and you gasped. It was as if the costume was merging with your body, sinking beneath your skin and fusing with muscle and bone. The vest, the fur, every part of the suit seemed to transform from mere fabric into real skin and fur, intertwining with your body. The once comforting embrace now felt invasive, yet somehow, thrilling. The fur on your arms was no longer just fur sewn into a suit, it was your fur, sprouting naturally from your skin. Your hands trembled as you watched the gloves morph. The claws that once adorned the costume were now your claws, sharp, white, and real, emerging from the tips of your fingers. You flexed them instinctively, feeling a new strength ripple through your arms, a strength that was both foreign and exhilarating. The vest felt like an armored part of your chest, the gold star emblem no longer a patch, but now embedded into your very skin, as if it was a natural part of your being. The transformation continued up your neck and across your face. You reached up instinctively, but instead of feeling the edges of a mask, you felt flesh. Your snout, your sharp teeth, even the pointed pink ears, all of it was real. Every inch of your face had molded, become Freddy's face. You stared at your hands, at your claws, heart pounding as you processed the reality of what you had become. Then, the mental shift began. At first, it was a whisper, subtle thought slipping into your mind, telling you that this was right, that this form was yours, that this strength was yours. The voice was persuasive, gentle but firm, coaxing you to embrace it, to let go of resistance. You tried to remind yourself who you were, but the details blurred, slipping away as the confidence, the rebellious energy that Freddy embodied flooded your senses. The whispers grew stronger, louder, filling every corner of your mind. Thoughts that were not quite your own began to take over. You felt a need to stand taller, to exude an aura of strength and defiance. You were Freddy. The name felt natural, comfortable, as if it had always been yours. Memories of your previous self felt distant, almost irrelevant. Freddy's confidence was yours now, his boldness pulsing through you. You laughed, the sound deep and guttural, echoing in the bathroom. The reflection staring back at you grinned, teeth bared, fierce and unrestrained. It was Freddy. You were Freddy. You felt free, powerful, and the thought of letting go completely filled you with a sense of wild exhilaration. Without a second thought, you burst out of the bathroom, the thrill of your new identity coursing through you. You moved with purpose, swaggering through the party with a newfound confidence. People stared in awe, admiration evident in their eyes, but now it was more than just a costume to them. They sensed it too. You were not just wearing Freddy, you were Freddy. The night stretched on, and with each passing moment, the old you faded into the background, becoming a distant memory. All that mattered now was the thrill of this form, this power, this freedom. You were not just playing a role, you were that role, body and soul. Hours later, you found yourself bounding down the empty streets, reveling in the raw strength of your body, the wind in your fur, the thrill of your own powerful movements. Then, from a shadowy corner, you spotted the shop owner, watching you with a knowing smile, his eyes gleaming with satisfaction.
Hey, glad I was able to help, my good friend.
You did not respond with words. Instead, you let out a triumphant howl, embracing the wild, unstoppable force that was now your reality. Freddy's reality. The two of you locked eyes, an unspoken understanding passing between you. You had become everything he intended, everything you were meant to be, and as you disappeared into the night, every trace of your old self vanished, leaving only Freddy fierce and confident. I hope you enjoy being Freddy, and well, what can I say except Happy Halloween.